My name is Pratap Revuru, and I work as a Senior Director, Microgrid Solution and Strategic Partnerships. I am electrical engineer, and after doing my electrical engineering, I also did my master's in power systems engineering. So I was very fascinated by power systems, mainly because that's the network which is actually supplying the energy. I was thinking of how we can think of power systems, and then I joined a company where they think of producing the power system products. I started in research and development, my to produce new products. And then once you create a new product, you need to make sure that it is tested properly and doesn't have any failures. And then I moved on to design engineering. So how a project can be built. And then I moved to a role making sure that the product is connected to the system, meaning the grid which is flowing the electrons, where I can actually experiment and also make sure that my product is connected, it is working in the system, and it is talking to every other product in the system. Then I went to my favorite subject of power system studies, and I created a team in Canada who can perform power system studies. So I had a number of power system engineers across Canada. And at that time, I also got the opportunity to work on renewable energy. I used to develop 10 megawatt solar projects called solar farms because it's a big area of solar panels. And then so I used to work on renewable energy projects. And then I moved to a position called smart grid. So I was helping this transition from grid to modern grid. And then I was one who actually took the leadership role in creating a smart grid lab in Toronto Metropolitan University. I have also seen the evolution from smart grid to microgrids. I took the role of a microgrid responsibility for Canada. And now, from past 3.5 years, I'm working on clean energy development and clean energy projects for my customers. I joined Schneider Electric in 1991 for Schneider Electric Canada. The main focus is to create clean energy solutions for buildings, communities, campus, and even remote communities. Wherever we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we want to be there. We want to really give clean tech solutions because we have the technology bricks which will be able to understand and how we can manage both the demand side reduction as well as creating the local generation, which is a green energy. Our electrical energy generation has to be emission free. That is the challenge we are facing. We are moving forward to see how we can attain that. So that's where you will see more. For example, Ontario cut coal generation. So that's how Ontario became cleaner, whereas Alberta and Nova Scotia are still working to reduce their GHG while generating electrical energy. DEC is pivoting towards how they can help this energy transformation and digital energy, because the generation is going to be much more diversified, locally generated, and connected to distribution systems rather than transmission systems. So, which means they need to understand how we can digitize this, manage what is happening at the distribution level, and get the intelligence to the operators. The one time they were telling everybody, whoever studied 50 years back, you cannot store electrical energy. You know that we can actually store electrical energy and use it whenever you want. That technology is there today. That's where energy storage is everywhere. EVs are coming on the road, and you are able to electrify your house when there is no grid connected event. the sun is shining, you can actually produce energy, and you can also store that energy for the night time, and you can use that energy during the night time. When wind is not blowing, you are able to use that stored energy, which means the complete dynamics and the equation of energy distribution has changed. What we call distributed energy resources, in short, DERs. DERs are going to play a big role because they're expanding. If you see the solar, the wind, energy storage, now geothermal energy, they're also talking about small nuclear reactors, they're talking about hydrogen, they're talking about more and more DERs. So what it means, if you have more and more DERs, somebody has to integrate these DERs. So decentralized energy is going to be the challenge of connecting all these DERs and making sure that they are performing in the optimum way, both on the resiliency and also electrical energy equation, meaning when the demand is there, they are able to supply. When there is no demand, they're able to store. And also all the time they're thinking about how to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This is where you cannot produce energy now when you are actually increasing GAG. And top of this, what is that big challenge, big dilemma is the integration. How do you integrate all this? You have before very simple equation. Somebody produces, somebody makes the power, somebody takes the power. That equation is gone. You produce, you consume. That's why we coined actually a term called prosumer. Who produces and consumer is gone. I produce and I consume. I think the models are going to change big time. A lot of models are going to change, and the revenue model is going to change. What they used to see the revenue coming from, and there is a challenge also of the assets which are already in use right now. For example, you have a transformer which is sitting, and suppose in future, suppose everybody thinks that they don't need any power from the grid, then it's a challenge because you already have the assets of 100 years. Some units need a lot of maintenance. And so that equation is going to change. And a new business model called energy as a service. In short, EaaS, energy as a service, is somebody actually come to you and say that I will invest my own money to put energy storage, to put solar, to put all the DERs, and make sure that you are getting the electrical energy 24/7, and you pay only monthly fees. So if that comes, the utility people will have a new challenge. I think the challenge is not having the predictability, in the sense that you don't know what will be the price in 2028 about electrical energy. Somebody change the price, you just have to pay. You don't have control on your electrical energy pricing. Ontario is increasing the energy cost big time, and so many other provinces. As you don't know what is going to come in future about the energy pricing. And with all these changes, EV in the market and EV is connected to the grid, we also don't know how the grid is going to behave and what challenges will have the grid and which will affect you. There will be an impact when you draw more and more energy, because EVs are going to come, and they are saying that by 2030 or 35, you need to have 100% electrical cars, right? That's what the Canada government is saying. And more, I think 2026, they want to 20% of the sales need to be electrical cars. You are actually taking energy from the grid. So how stable are going to be the grids? Today, I think 10% of EVs on the market. on the ground. And you can also say that solar is pretty much there and increasing on a yearly basis, and DERs are going to be around 40% in coming years. Some countries are already saying they produce electricity from DERs pretty much some days. So these are all the changes which we are facing and we are seeing today. First comes the policy and the regulation, and also what we call standards and codes, and some guidelines. How to connect, where to connect, what need to be done. People need to know in a simple way, not a complex way, right? I need to connect my solar onto my roof. I need to be informed very easily, and also I need to put a EV charger in my garage, and how I can do it. I think what we call BTM and CFTM. BTM is actually behind the meter, which means all the commercial, industrial buildings, communities, campus, and everything. And also there is a huge initiatives by the utilities put energy storage in front of the meter. So everyone is playing the role of making sure that they want to reduce the GHG, or they want to be more resiliency and also reduce energy bills in their usage. It is both BTM and FTM. And we are also working on how we can help this energy transformation, where we can develop the technology bricks, help digitization of the networks, systems, and the grid. We are also working on integration of different DERs, how we can make the technology simple and easy for people to use and easy to integrate distributed energy resources. We are bringing out microgrid solutions to the market. We created microgrid in a box, which is called the Energy Control Center. In one unit, you can connect to the utility, all the DERs, the EVs, all the loads of the building. And at the same time, it is able to manage the power, the energy. So there is an equipment which can connect with a number of distributed energy resources, meaning you can connect to the solar, the inverter, the energy storage, diesel generators. You can connect to all this. And at the same time, you also connect to all the loads of the building and the chargers. So a very simple unit has been designed with software, firmware, able to connect to the building loads, able to connect to the EV chargers. So I call it as, in simple terms, microgrid in a box, which has been designed, developed, manufactured, and we are also using that in some buildings today. So that is, you can call it as the innovation, because we want to make sure that no customer need not think of buying ABC, but we have integrated ABC in one box, and the box is given to the customer so that we can just connect to all the distributed energy resources, and it becomes easy to manage. We are developing further on that and trying to even enhance what we have. We are developing the softwares in the cloud, meaning that we have the flexibility. Depending on the customer needs, we will be able to do it. And we have also used the AI into developing this solution. That is what we have used in the customer profile. We will read and then adjust within few weeks and know how it has to be managing. And the goal is again very clear, three axes. One is how to reduce the energy bill to the customer. The second one is when there is an outage, meaning when there is no power, how you can manage using the power generated locally. And then definitely, I think we also want to talk about how we can reduce greenhouse gas emissions for the building, so we can actually make the building more sustainable. So those are the three axes which we always think about when we develop these type of solutions. And we have done it already across Canada, and you can say innovation is happening right now. So we are thinking about home management, home resiliency, and also at the same time commercial, industrial, and we call it as in simple way C&I, which is commercial, industrial, prosumer innovation, and the other one is the residential prosumer innovation. energy in a box, uses AI. We put everything in the cloud. So we are already using AI. We are using the machine learning. IoT, we are actually using that for a long time. We have our own IoT internal name, which is called EcoStructure. We build all our platform using EcoStructure, which is cyber secured. So all these things we are using for many years, more than decade. So we are already having this AI and also machine learning and also cyber secured. That's what we call it as EcoStructure platform. We are connected across Canada, all the organizations. Either I'm part of some board, or I'm also connected with the government, connected with utilities, connected with commercial industrial players. So pretty much we are in communication with everyone. Everything is, how to reduce GHG and also 2030 goals, 2040 carbon neutral and neutralization of carbon. We have a huge mandate for 2030 meeting the goals and 2015 at zero. So all these are part of our mandate which we are working on. Schneider Electric, it's very global and we are 150,000 plus people. We have manufacturing locations all over the world, and depending on the product, depending on the commitment to the customer, we look for where we can manufacture. We have number of manufacturing locations in Canada. We have manufacturing in Montreal. We have manufacturing in Edmonton. We have manufacturing in Vancouver. We also have manufacturing in Toronto. So pretty diversified depending on the product. We also have so many products. The market needs are changing in rapid form. The changes are becoming more accelerated because the requirements are changing. Manufacturing to the market needs is going to be a challenge. And I call it as more like a product to the market cycle time, how we can manage, right? If you think about a product and then you are trying to develop, it has to be developed quickly so that the potential market is available for you. If you don't manufacture very quickly, things will change, especially now because electrification is becoming more and more. Every country is thinking about. So if you think of energy use in Canada, today we are around 17% electrical energy. The rest, almost 83%, is not electrical energy. By 2050, they are thinking about 50% they want to go for electrical energy in the total usage of energy. So you name it, the transportation is going to become more electric. The process industry, they want to be more electric. The way in which we heat the buildings, they want to be more electric. So that electrification is going to change many things. And in my view, we don't know so many other things which we are going to see in coming years. So that's why I coined as, you can say, energy transformation. So there is not going to be like a switch. It's going to be changing. That's why I like more like a transformation. It's gradually changes. If you think of 10 years back, solar was just introduced at that time. Wind was introduced at that time. Now we are using more and more solar energy, and it is going to be even closer to 40% of solar energy globally. And if you think of EV, the penetration is slow in the beginning. Now EV is reaching between 9 to 10% of new sales of vehicles. The product and services need to evolve. For example, you take the e-vehicles on the road, we are talking about level 1, level 2, level 3 chargers. That means you need to know how we can manufacture level 2 chargers, and if whether we can manufacture level 3 chargers. And then if you think of those chargers, manufacturing is different than what we used to do before. Again, there is also another thing, what we used to manufacture still needs for the future. That is not going away, but you are adding something new to the basket. So that has to be seen what it means and how it has to be manufactured and how it has to be go to market with these new products. And the classic example is today, whoever owns EV need to have the ability to charge at home or at workplace. And if you want to charge at home, you need a unit. And so that is a new product. So if you are introducing a new product, you need a new manufacturing capacity and process. I think the challenges is we are evolving more like a startup environment. So it requires a lot of attention. The policy, the regulation, these are all evolving. This IEEE, which creates some guidelines, some standards, they're also working on it. So everything is evolving, and that is the challenge because you need to adapt and be agile because whenever there is not clear mandate or a clear guideline, you need to adapt and you need to be agile to make sure that you're doing something right. You are making sure that we are following some guideline. At the same time, the guideline itself is a gray line. CSA is another organization, Canadian Standards Association.
Yeah.
I was actually a advisory council there in microgrids. I was also participated in IEEE guideline generation and helped there. And I'm also working with an organization called EFC, Electro Federation Canada. I created what is called the Greener Electrified Canada Network, and I am the chair of the committee. I am helping to see how we can move this transformation as smooth as possible. How can we listen to the people? When you listen and understand their pain, that's one aspect of it, right? And then you need to also think of how can you really lead the team by giving the tools required for them. You cannot be the bottleneck for growth. So you need to allow people to grow and give the right tools at the right time. Within Schneider, I created a business teams. I started with one and then made it as two, made it as five, made it as 10 over the years. One of the proud feeling for me is I have done many teams. I grew that business multiple times and also created the job opportunities for many people, hired many people. I also given the opportunity for people to learn and grow. There are two things, right? One is actually giving the learning opportunity and also growing opportunity within the organization. People have learned, people have grown, people have taken different positions within the organization. I feel good that I was able to attract and retain people. My main goal is generating clean energy to buildings, to campus and across Canada, where they can see the value of microgrid in terms of three areas, how they feel that it is actually benefiting them, both on the sustainability way, and also they're able to get the power of the building when there is no power from the grid. And also they are seeing the value of how they can actually, reduce their energy bill. So for me, I think clean energy is a need of the country because we need to reduce the GHGE and we have to use more electrical energy for our energy usage. And if I can help in that transformation, that's what I'm working on. Everyone is learning because the transformation is happening. We are all in the same school. Don't think that I'm in a different school. I'm also learning because what I learned a few years back is no longer true. Canada is rich on so many things. We are rich on minerals. We are rich on metals. How can we excel in innovation? How we can actually show the roadmap to other countries, what they can take from us. We need to be bold to create the space for people to experiment, people having the courage to fail. You are giving a space for someone to fail and he is not punished. That's where innovation happens. If you feel that failure is not an option, then innovation is having a limitation. I think Schneider Electric is doing a lot of innovation, a lot of working on many new things, and we are spending a lot of time on sustainability. We are also working on how can we explain sustainability for the people.